Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's talk about agile teams. What happens when, the energy just drains, morale's low, productivity is falling off a cliff? We really need to figure out how to step in effectively. We're going to cut through some noise today and really explore why success isn't just about process, it's about the people. And a lot of our thinking on this today comes from the really insightful book, Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Caspone.
Yeah, it's such a critical point because Agile, at its heart, is meant to be sustainable, right? It
Yeah.
values that steady pace, team well-being. But when burnout really hits hard, it's easy for managers to think, oh, the process is broken. The real trick is finding that sort of human touch to re-energize everyone without just piling on more pressure or messing with the core Agile setup.
That's exactly the puzzle, isn't it? The team's exhausted, they're disengaged. So what's the single best thing you can do? The intervention that gives the biggest psychological boost, the biggest motivational lift without accidentally making everything worse.
Right. And this is where, you see managers often reach for a couple of familiar tools
Yeah.
that, well, they just don't work here. They're fundamentally the wrong approach.
Okay, let's unpack those. I mean, my first instinct, maybe a bad one, when velocity drops is often like, we need more visibility, which usually translates to
Must be.
more meetings,
Right.
or making the daily stand-ups longer. It feels like you're tackling a communication issue.
It feels like that, yeah. But it's a classic pitfall. It completely misreads why performance is dipping,
Yeah.
making stand-ups longer,
Hmm.
or adding more. That just violates the whole agile idea of keeping communication lean and essential. Think about it. If you're already ducked out, the last thing you need is another meeting draining your very limited emotional battery. It makes the stand-up feel like a punishment, not a quick sync-up. It actually erodes trust instead of building transparency.
Yeah, that makes total sense. More forced FaceTime is probably the absolute worst thing for someone feeling exhausted. Okay, what about the other common reaction? The structural change. I've seen teams try extending the iteration length, making sprints longer, maybe 3 weeks, maybe even a month. The thinking is it gives people more breathing room, less pressure.
But again, the evidence suggests that in a burnout situation, this actually backfires.
Yeah.
Agile teams thrive on that rhythm, those short cycles, getting quick feedback, seeing visible progress, small wins. When you stretch out the iteration, you kind of hide the progress. It feels less immediate. You delay that crucial feedback loop. You kill that feeling of, yes, we finished something. And crucially, you don't actually address the underlying emotional reason for the burnout. It can even slow momentum down.
So, okay, if tightening the process screws things up and loosening the process also screws things up, what's left? What non-process thing actually helps? This is where the source material offers a really surprising, almost counterintuitive idea. The most effective intervention. It's startlingly simple. Just take the team to lunch.
Right. It sounds almost trivial, doesn't it? Like, how can buying lunch fix a systemic burnout problem? But this gets to the core argument that real project success hangs on psychological safety, maybe even more than metrics or Gantt charts.
But I can hear managers thinking, lunch. That just delays the work. It looks frivolous when we need results now. Seriously, how is a sandwich supposed to undo weeks or months of being overworked and overwhelmed?
It's not about the sandwich itself, obviously. It's about the context. It's about the signal it sends. It's a deliberate investment in that human connection that Agile, claims to value so highly. By physically taking the team out of the work environment, the manager is showing, I trust you, I value you as people.
Yeah.
It lets them step away, properly disconnect, talk about non-work stuff, just breathe, reconnect on a personal level.
So it's less about the food and more about the message. It's like hitting a reset button, validating the person, not just the resource.
Precisely. That simple gesture, totally focused away from work, it helps restore energy. It encourages real open communication because it feels safe, not forced, like in another meeting. And it starts rebuilding that mutual trust that's absolutely essential for motivation to come back. So when they return, they haven't just eaten. They've hopefully strengthened those social bonds, maybe had a laugh. They come back with a genuinely refreshed perspective.
Okay, so wrapping this up for you listening, the big takeaway here seems pretty clear. When your team's performance is dropping because they're burnt out, maybe skip the immediate urge to tweak the process or schedule more check-ins. The most powerful first step might be connecting with the human side of things. Prioritize morale, prioritize that psychological safety.
And that leaves us with a really provocative thought, I think. You can have the best processes in the world, the most optimized workflows, but none of it matters. Your velocity charts won't budge until the people actually doing the work are emotionally and psychologically okay enough to even engage with the plan. People first.
That's a perfect point to end on. Focus on the people first. If you want to explore these practical, really human-centered strategies further, we absolutely recommend checking out the source for today's deep dive, Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabone.
Well,